Hi, I'm Father Jeff Packard from St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in State College, and I am here with Rick Bryant, who is the Executive Director of the Central Pennsylvania Festival of the Arts. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Father Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you so much.
Hey, welcome to the festival office. Delighted to have you.
It's great to be here. We're surrounded by the posters of the past festivals, and they're really beautiful. It's sort of a stroll down memory lane. Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do as the executive director?
Well, as the director of the Arts Festival, I have two co-workers, Carol, our operations director, and Jennifer, our development director. We have about 600 volunteers, and we produce the summer event, the Central Pennsylvania Festival of the Arts, which takes place over 5 days and has an audience of about 125,000. And we also produce First Night State College on December 31st. It's a New Year's celebration that has an audience of about 10 to 12,000. And St. Andrew's is a great host for us on First Night State College. We have concerts in the church there, and in Canterbury Hall, we store our puppets before our procession. So I'm quite familiar with the inside of St. Andrew's, even if it's not on Sundays.
We're delighted to be part of all of that. But this past year has had quite an impact on your life and what you do. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, what we do for a living is throw a sort of a big party. And we weren't able to do that in 2020, and we're not able to do it again in 2021. Social distancing and the Arts Festival, they go together like fire and water.
Right.
And, it's the whole pandemic has been especially devastating on artists because, for example, at the Arts Festival, so much of what people buy is the experience of interacting with the artist. They often, we get calls and emails quite frequently with somebody like, I bought this pot 20 years ago and, I broke it and I want a new one. And then you say, well, what do you know about the person? And then they go to a big, long story about how they used to live in the same dorm at Arizona State University 34 years ago. And, they found all this out while they were shopping. And
Wow.
And that's part of the reason they cherish the object is the interaction they've had with the artist. And well, performers, you can't sing or play on stage. That's what they do too. So one artist in particular told me that he lost 95% of his income and had to move into his parents' basement. And when you're an adult, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Wow, that's been a rough year. Do you think that the pandemic has had a larger impact on the arts, not just on people's livelihoods or the ability to have the arts festival, but on the kind of the content of the art that's being produced? I mean, we're interested in poetry in particular, but in general, in the arts community.
Well, I think it's forced people to take a lot of chances that they wouldn't ordinarily take, at least with the delivery of what they do. And I'm sure how they express themselves has really changed too, but I haven't really made a scientific study of that. But how could it not? I mean, when your life is completely upended, it's going to show up in your work if you're an artist. Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. And by the way, we're both vaccinated. That's why we don't have masks on. Well, Rick, we are running this poetry contest, and people still have a couple of days to get their submissions in. And Arts Festival has been really terrific in helping us to promote it. And you guys are one of our sponsors. Do you personally have a favorite poet you'd like to share with us?
I do have a favorite poet. I would say that my favorite poet is Martha Friedman. Some of you might know her. She's a former State College resident. She's the author of kids' books and young adult books. Probably my favorite title is The Year My Parents Ruined My Life. It's about upending your kids and moving them to Happy Valley. And so for quite some time, Martha's self-published on Facebook what she calls a bad poem. And I was really taken by these. I think Martha has tons of talent. And I'm actually having a friend who's a book artist make them into a book that I'm going to put on the coffee table at my house.
Mm.
So I do happen to have one right here.
Well, how convenient. We'd love for you to share one.
So, and it doesn't have a title. It's just called Poem 53. So, my children are annoyed by the creaking sound my eyes make when I roll them. To cure me of this bad habit, they suggest mild electric shocks. I have some suggestions for them too.
That's something I can identify with.
I think all people of a certain age.
You get to a certain age, and absolutely, yeah. That's terrific. Martha Freeman. I'll have to look for her, and I don't know if she has submitted anything to our contest.
Well, I can.
She's got a couple of days.
I can drop her a note or a text or a call or all three.
She may have already written something that
say, Martha, now's your chance.
We'll look forward to that.
All right.
Thank you so much, Rick. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming by, Father Jeff.
All right.
All right.
Care.